Thank you for tuning. YNet 7. I'm Pasha Paro, and this is the replay. Today, we're going to discuss the title is Just Following Orders, question mark. Life is not. Okay? And, you know, we all see the news and stuff as it happens, and I don't really watch it, but you hear people talking about it at work or around the neighborhood and stuff, and you get a headline that says child brings gun to school. you know how many of you heard comments about this? And if you got a second, take a moment and put some of the comments in the comments below. Let's see what the general consensus was of such a headline. Is it astonishing? Did anyone comment? You know, I wonder what that child's life must be like to have to bring a gun to school. Um, the way I see it is, it could have been a few different things. You know what I mean? The child, kid, son or daughter, in whatever case it was last or whatever case it'll be next, might have been super cool. I know that just shocked a lot of y'all. I said the kid that brought the gun to school might have actually been super cool, right? To those, at least to those who mattered to him or her. And before y'all get all excited about how could I say a kid bringing a gun to school might actually be super cool, go and ask your grandparents how many of them, especially down south, took their little 22 caliber rifles to school with them when they walked to school both ways uphill in the snow, knee deep with shoes made out of the newspaper. You know what I'm saying? Because they were taking their guns to school, shooting at little squirrels and stuff on the way, actually putting them in their lockers, and then coming back home with their guns too, with their little cliques and crew. So, some decades ago, it was normal to bring your kids to school. So, bring your guns to school when you were a kid. So now it's actually like this thing. You know what I'm saying? So take a look at that first before the kid might have been super bad. Absolutely. We don't know. He could have been into the wrong things, or she could have been into the wrong things. That is actually a possibility. Now, at the same time, that same kid may have been super good. You know what I'm saying? If you stop and think about it for a moment, that kid, that child, that son or daughter, in the middle of the biggest attention focus on anti-bullying campaigns in the history of the United States of America, that kid might have actually been protecting himself or herself, protecting his or her family, protecting his or her neighborhood. Maybe he's walking or she's walking someone to and from school through the trenches, and they need that weapon to make sure they make it back home safely. People don't know, but how many of those people that were commenting on this just viewed this situation as another statistic? You see, how many people for a moment forgot that was a human life, and have to consider what that life must be like to feel like they actually need to bring a gun to school. Again, it could have been super cool, super good, super bad. You don't know, right? But did you stop and think what that life must be like? Or did you just associate it with another statistic? You see, made a made a song called Stats, and it mentioned some things about if you're not in the arena, you know what I'm saying? And the people that are in the arena brought it on themselves, you know what I'm saying? Like, those in the stands don't understand. You understand? Don't understand. See what I'm saying? Think about it. Name record sales. Man in the arena brought it on the sales, Cause you got can't make no rainfall if you're not living in the clouds. See, you can't make no rainfall if you're not living in the clouds. You can't speak on that scenario unless you live in that life, unless you've been through those events, unless you have something to compare to that scenario that you've been through. You can't assess whether that kid needed a gun or not. Like I said, your grandparents are carrying a gun and might have been carrying guns to school to shoot squirrels. It wasn't a problem then. Okay. So did the comments say that they were just glad that it wasn't their kid? You know what I mean? Is this the conversation they were having, or did the conversation swing to possibilities of how to prevent this from any kid needing to have a gun in school if you feel like it's such a bad thing? Or was it just a matter of, oh, we might be a little better off than them, let us rejoice? You see what I'm saying? Because remember, they're human too, right? And you may feel like there's no need for your family, your kids, or anything to actually be in that situation. But before you judge them, you have to consider what the possibilities are, because it very well could be your child next. Things could be going on in school that you don't even know about. Maybe your kid's getting bullied and he or she, bucked up on a firearm, practice safety and everything, take their gun to school with them, and now you're getting a phone call that it's your child because he or she was trying to protect themselves. You see what I'm saying? So what we got to do, I read this, I'm reading this book by Sinek. I mentioned to y'all often. I know I've been gone for a while. I've been jumping into a lot of new things, and I appreciate y'all patience. Like I said, it's maybe a little sporadic now, but a year or two from now, when all these videos are lined up and you can share this with your friends or family, it'll be a plethora of information for you to go ahead and sort through. But the book I've been sharing with y'all is Simon Sinek's Leaders Eat Last. And here's a passage from it where it says, we no longer see each other as people, and that's very powerful. Like, you're either your customer, the shareholder, you're an employee, you got avatars and online profiles now, screen names, what's your email address, what's your phone number, or are you costing me any money, or are you making me money? Because I got to track this. I got to make, you see what I'm saying? Like, when you see that headline, child brings gun to school, it very well, to me, fits this little passage. It very well reminds me of my song Stats, because did you stop for a moment and think about the human life, or were you focused on the statistic? It could very well also remind those of not man-made, because the stigmatism, the stereotype that they want to, the perceived authority figures, when you're watching these perceived authority figures on TV, or you listen to them on the news or the radio, or wherever you're getting the information that you quote unquote trust from, they're telling you how to view these situations, and then you go out into society and regurgitate that feeling, that emotion, that vibration. Okay. But who's the real you? Like, when it's your child that you're on the stand talking for, you're gonna say, no, I know the real you, or I know the real him or her. You see, that's what you'll be saying then. So if you ain't heard my song Not Man Made, go check that out also. But at that moment, you'll be in front of these microphones saying, no, I know the real him or her or you. All your answers to those questions are going to be not. You see? So be careful of how you're swayed with this information and stuff. Think about stuff. Don't let the perceived authority figures guarantee how you should be. It's always easy to be a critic when you don't have to do it, when you don't have to see it, when you don't have to feel it, when you can say, You're just following orders like the police if they found them first and they shot them, or the military killing families while they invade in other countries. And then the perceived authority figure tells you they gas people or whatever it is they drop off on the headlines to make you feel like, oh yeah, well, another statistic and this, that, and the other, and we should go over there and do that. They're over there killing families, but what's the real reason? You know, or are you just seeing another statistic? Are you believing whatever the perceived authority figures tell you? Then also, whether it's the child headline or the headline saying child brings gun to school, or we're gonna, or why the U.S. must invade Iran. Did you ever stop to think that they are human beings just like you, and you could be easily the next one at these microphones having to explain? This is YNS7. I'm Pasha Paro. Thank you for tuning the replay.